So organization behavior is said to be the applied behavioral sciences. I am saying that organization behavior is the applied behavioral sciences. That means it has a contributions of applied psychology, sociology, political sciences, anthropology, etc. That means it is contributed from interdisciplinary sciences, behavioral sciences. What is that? It is contributed from interdisciplinary applied sciences, behavioral sciences. So through which we can analyze the individual behavior, group behavior, and also organization behavior or system level behavior of the organization. Coming to the first, while we are going through analyzing the how you can analyze the individual behavior in the organization behavior. So I can say that for individual level we can using the psychology is a stream of discipline through which we can analyze the individual learning styles of the people, how the people learn the best. The learning styles of the individual can be analyzed, the learning abilities or learning styles of the individual can be analyzed, and also motivation, how the people get motivated. Through the scientific management, he says that, okay, the father of scientific management, Henry Fayol, who says that the motivation is the primary motivator of every individual is money, whereas from the human sciences, from the father of human sciences, he says that what is the motivator? Human relations is the prime motivator. Now we can say that, we can see what are the motivations of humans, how a human can be motivated. For example, if you want to make the employee to perform the best, more to give more productivity, what we can do generally, we will be giving him incentives, commissions. If you reach the targets, if you do more targets, then you will be getting the incentives or extra perks. Incentives are nothing but extra perks that will be given to the employee for the extra performance, that can be analyzed. That means the motivation, how an individual can be motivated. What are the different strategies through which you can motivate the employee? If an employee is in stress because of the work-life balance, we have to motivate them through feedback or consulting. Or else if the employee is feeling dissatisfied at the workplace, then also motivation is very important at the individual level to make him set right at the workplace. So work behavior is very, very important. And the third level, so through psychology we can analyze the emotions of the individual emotions, like stress may cause employee burnout, may cause attrition, may cause many different things at the workplace. That means for employee it is very important to analyze the human emotions. So this can be learned through psychology, human relations, and the perception. What is meant perception? That is nothing but the perception is nothing but the thinking level, the cognitive levels of the employee or else individual. Because if each and every individual is having different levels of perception levels or thinking levels, so we can analyze the perception of employees. So if we went to a movie, some people may like the movie visuals or the graphics, some people may like the heroine, some people may like the fights, action movies. So if you go to see same situation is given to similar different people will react differently. Some people may say that this is a very boring film, some people may say that it is really, really nice. It depends upon how they perceive the things, how they receive the things. So this can be very important concept of organization behavior. And we can also learn about the training levels of the individual, how you can train the people, training. So motivation, emotion, perception, training, and performance appraisal. I can say that performance appraisal, how an employee performs at the individual level, how he will be acting, or else how he is working at the individual level, how he is performing at the organization. And all this can be analyzed using the psychology. The discipline of psychology helps us to retain the employee, by learning the abilities of the employee, by motivation. How can you motivate the individual? how you can manage the emotions of an individual, and also the perception levels of the thinking levels, cognitive levels, or else how he perceives the things, how he reacts to the situations. And also last one is training and development. I can see that depending upon that we can select the employee, we can recruit employees also based upon this. So this is the contribution of psychology helps in organization in learning, in determining the learning levels, motivation levels, emotions, perceptions, training, employee retention, performance appraisal also. Performance appraisal, and also we can say the employee retention. What is meant by employee retention? Retention is nothing but retaining the employee. The art of retaining or keeping the employee for a longer period of time is called as retention. What is employee retention? It's an art of keeping the employee for longer period of time within the same organization. This can also be how an employee can stay in your organization for a longer period of time if he likes the job where he is doing, if the working environment suits for his behavior, if he likes what he is doing, if the organization values the employees, if the organization values his emotions, if the organization gives motivation to work, if organization improves his working ability, his learning ability, all these things will be done through the psychological discipline. Coming to the next, we can see then next is sociology. Sociology is a discipline which helps in sociology, means which deals with the group behaviors. So how people behave at the group, how people behave in the group. So the group behavior can be analyzed. This group behavior can be analyzed using sociology. Sociology is a discipline which helps to analyze the group behavior. So that means we'll be dealing with group dynamics. Group dynamics means how people behave in group, how people form a group, whether they will be gelled with the group or whether, because each and individual having their own personalities. Some will be introvert, some will be extrovert, some people may not like to be in the group, some people may be allowed to be with the group. So it helps to determine the group behavior, how people will group will be working, how the individual works in a group. So this can be analyzed using the sociology. And work teams. The next one is, so using the sociology you can determine how the teamwork is going on, how the people are, all the teams, nothing but they'll be having only single goal, all the people are working on. Some people, generally what happens, some of the people just their behavior is like, if everybody is working, they'll feel like, okay, everybody is working, let us be aside. That is called as social laughing. One who escapes from the work, one who tries to always to escape from the work, that type of behavior is called social laughing. Okay, so generally in house our mothers call us as laugher. That means he will be escaping the work. He tries to be manipulate the things, but do not try to be not to work at home. That people will be generally called as laugher. So if it is at work, we'll be calling officially as social laughing. What is that? It is called as social laughing. That can be teamwork, how the people are working in teams, whether they are goal oriented or not, they can be analyzed using this sociology. We can say that generally conflict comes from power and conflict. Generally issues, differences between the people comes due to power, either due to power. If power is there, definitely it leads to conflict. So the other important things here which can be analyzed using sociology is power and conflict. What is that? One is power and the second one is conflict. What is that? Power, and the second one is conflict. If you are having, there is a leader, some people may not take the leader or take others, do not like to work under the leadership of others, because we are all working. He is also equal to us. Why he is giving his power? Authoritative behavior may not be taken by everyone. So that is also important when there is a group. The group behavior, if you are not accepting the other's authoritative behavior then may leads to conflict. Differences in behavior, differences in their perception, or else differences in the understanding, communication barriers will come because of it when you're working in the group. So power and leads into conflict. What are the different conflicts may arise due to power, and what are the different conflicts may lead in a group if you're working in a group? So these can also be analyzed using sociology. And next one is intergroup behavior. So intergroup behavior, what is meant by intergroup behavior? So intergroup behavior is nothing but it is a behavior of the people. It is a behavior of people in groups. How you are behaving with your colleague, how you are behaving with your co-employee, how you are behaving with other co-members of a group. That is called as intergroup behavior. That is whether you are able to accept others' behavior, whether other is able to take your behavior, which is very important in working in a group. These things can be analyzed using sociology. So informal and formal organization theories can also be studied using sociology. So what is that? How can you behave formally in a group? How a group can be behave formally? Sometimes you will be having some of the groups, the quality circles. These are voluntary people, group of voluntary people forming a small group to deal with the conflicts at the workplace. Those are called as quality circles. The quality circles are nothing but group of people voluntarily they will be coming up to deal with the problems in the workplace. Those groups are called as quality circles. Quality circles. So we can also deal with we'll be learning about the quality circles. We also learning about the quality circles. Okay, quality circles. So these quality circles are nothing but what I have said. These are the small voluntary people coming together to deal with the conflicts at the workplace. And it is very important. Or sociology is very important subject that deals with organization culture. What is that? Organization culture. What is meant by organization culture? So you all know what is meant by organization. It is a group of people, okay, working together towards a organization, towards a common goal. And culture is nothing but set of values, beliefs, okay, or traditions, assumptions on which we will be working. So here organization, each and every organization will have their own culture. Each and every organization will have a own culture. In the next class, we'll go through a small case study which talks about all these constraints, sociology and psychology, and what are the different organization cultures and how organization culture impacts the organization productivity. How the organization culture impacts the organization productivity. So in Philippines, you can say an example of Yugoslavia and Philippines. These are the two different countries where the culture of the organization is they'll be giving full liberty to the employees. They won't, the CEOs or the top management won't be interfering in the work of the employees. That is a tradition of Philippines, or you can see Yugoslavia, in these countries where they'll be given highest freedom to the employees to work. Whereas you can see in India, we will be completely under the authority of our immediate manager. So we'll be working under the authority or else under the leadership of the immediate manager. Whereas in some of the countries where they'll be giving some of the freedom, they'll be given full liberty to the workmen because they know what to do, how to do, with giving some guidelines. So that is what is going to happen here. So sociology is a stream that deals with group dynamics, how a group will be formed, how you will be behaving at the group, how teamwork will be taking place, and what is power, and if power is there, what are the conflicts that arises out of this power, and intergroup behavior, how intergroup behavior will be, and what are the different determinants that will be there in the intergroup behavior, and quality circle is one of the intergroup behavior. So, and quality circles is one of the most important concept, and it also deals with organization culture. Sociology also deals with organization culture, and most important things, generally what happens, generally will be most of the people will be resisting to change. Okay, one of the phrase I can say that change is most important. If you can't change, change will change you. What is that? If you can't change with a respect to the change, if you respect the change, it will respect you. Otherwise, it will change you according to it, right? So don't give a chance to the change. When change comes, accept it lovely so that it loves you. Otherwise, it starts make you under it. So it shows its power, change of power, the power of change is very high. Okay, so better accept the change when it comes. Okay, so what I mean, like, because in this industrial revolution where daily you can see a new software is coming, if you want to become a software engineer, it's a challenge that you have to update yourself daily with a new version of software. Now if it is SPSS 2.20 2.5 or 2.6, next 1 week you will be getting the next version. If you have learned with AI 4.0, AI 4.5, whatever the new versions are being coming, and you have to update yourself. Otherwise you lead to excellence. Nobody cares about you. Even if you have experience, you will be just like a excellence. There is no work will be provided to you. You have to change, otherwise you will be left over. Okay, so I can give a best example as Nokia mobiles, which is a pioneer mobile in the market when the mobiles are come in India. You can see Nokia has led at that time because of its poor management and drastic changes in the management led Nokia today, which is in a sick, one of the sick company, which is not completely sick, but it is you can see the Samsung or else Apple, you can see the sales of these are very drastic when compared to that of Nokia, which is a pioneer at the time. See, so change organization behavior. This what is that? Organization behavior. Organization change. So this is another concept. So sociology deals with group dynamics, teamwork, power, conflict, intergroup behavior, organization change, and the next one is organization culture. These are the different constants that are dealt with the sociology. Coming to the next one is anthropology, or else you can see the social psychology. Social psychology, I am saying that social means which is dealing with the group, psychology means which is dealing with the behavior. So behavioral change, how the behavior of the people will be changing according to the situations, will be analyzed using social psychology.